Hello and welcome. Today we're going to break down a topic that isn't some far-off future idea anymore. It's here, right now. We're talking about AI security. My goal is to cut through all the jargon and give you a really clear, practical guide on what it is, why it's so important, and how you can start building a solid defense. So, you might be asking yourself, why is everyone talking about AI security all of a sudden? Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Let's dive right in. First, we'll look at why securing AI has become, well, non-negotiable. Then, we're going to unpack the two very different roles that AI plays in the world of security. After that, we'll see how this whole new game is different from our traditional cybersecurity. And we'll finish up with a practical playbook of strategies you can actually use.
You know, the reason this is so urgent is actually pretty simple. AI isn't just in the research labs anymore. It's out in the real world, running some of our most critical systems. I mean, just think about it. In healthcare, it's helping doctors diagnose diseases. In finance, it's the thing that stops a fraudulent charge on your credit card in milliseconds. And in transportation, well, it's literally helping to drive cars. When the stakes are this high, we're talking about people's health and their money. Securing that AI isn't just a good idea, it's an absolute necessity.
Okay, so let's get on the same page. What do we even mean by AI security? You can think of it like a complete shield for our AI systems. It's a mix of different things: the right practices, the right technologies, and the right company policies. And all of them are designed to protect against three major threats: people getting in who shouldn't, someone messing with the AI's logic, and of course, direct malicious attacks. Now, to really understand AI security, you have to look at it from two different angles. Think of it like a coin with two very distinct sides. On one side, AI is this incredibly valuable asset that we have to protect. But on the other side, it's also a powerful weapon that we can use for our own defense. And this really gets to the heart of it. We're fighting a battle on two fronts. First, you have to build a fortress around the AI system itself, but that's not enough. Second, you have to use the power of that AI to protect everything else in your organization. If you can master both of these, that's when you're really winning. Let's break this down a bit more. Over on the left, we have securing the asset. This is all about treating your AI systems, the code, the data it learns from, the final model, like they're the crown jewels. You have to lock them down tight. Then on the right, you have wielding the weapon. This is where we flip the script. We're using the AI's intelligence to build a smarter, faster defense. So how do we actually go about securing this asset? Well, it really comes down to three main pillars. First up is data protection. AI systems are hungry for data, and that data is often super sensitive, so we have to protect it. Second is model security. The AI model itself is your intellectual property. It's your company's secret sauce. We have to make sure no one can steal it or poison it. And third, there's infrastructure security. This is about securing the actual computers, the cloud servers, where the AI lives and does its work. All right, now let's talk about the other side of the coin, using AI as our defender. It does this in a few really powerful ways. First, advanced threat detection. It can spot complex attacks that a human might miss. Then there's anomaly detection. It learns what normal looks like on your network, so it can immediately flag anything that seems odd. Third, behavioral analytics. It can figure out how people normally behave, so it can tell if an account has been hijacked. And finally, automated incident response. This is a big one. It can actually step in and stop a threat automatically, without waiting for a human. Okay, so we've talked about the two fronts: protecting the AI and protecting with the AI. Now, it's really important to understand that this isn't just a small update to our old security tools. No, this is a completely different way of thinking. We're playing a whole new game now. And I really want to emphasize this point. We are not just talking about another software patch or a slightly better firewall. AI security is what we call a paradigm shift. It means we're moving away from a defense that's rigid and static to one that's alive, intelligent, and is always learning. So let's make this practical. Think about a security operations center. Traditional security is kind of like a nightclub bouncer with a very specific list. If a known bad guy shows up, he's not getting in. Simple. But what if a brand new threat appears, one that's not on the list? It could just walk right in. AI security, on the other hand, is like a bouncer that watches behavior. It knows what normal looks like, so it can spot trouble even if it's never seen that specific threat before. It is always adapting. Now let's talk about speed and performance. In the old way, when an alarm goes off, a human analyst has to jump in and investigate. That takes time, minutes, maybe even hours. With AI, a threat can be spotted and shut down almost instantly.
This automation frees up our human experts to focus on the really tricky problems. Plus, since the AI is so much better at telling a real threat from a false alarm, your team spends way less time chasing ghosts.
And here is maybe the biggest difference of all, the strategic one. Traditional cybersecurity is almost always reactive. You're basically waiting for something bad to happen, and then you react. But AI security is predictive. It can analyze huge amounts of data to spot the signs of an attack before it happens. It lets you get ahead of the problem. And it can scale up to protect massive cloud environments in a way that a team of humans just can't. Okay, so we understand the difference now. But the question is, what do we actually do? How do we put all of this into practice? Well, let's get into a simple, 4-part playbook for building a strong AI security defense. These are the core strategies that every organization should be thinking about today.
So here they are, the 4 pillars of our playbook. We've got compartmentalization, a zero-trust model, secure deployment, and continuous monitoring. Let's walk through each one of these step by step to see what they actually mean.
First up, compartmentalization. The best way to think about this is like a submarine. A submarine has different compartments with watertight doors. If one part gets a leak, you can seal it off to save the rest of the ship. We do the same thing here. We separate the different stages of the AI process, so if a breach happens in one area, it doesn't compromise the entire system.
Next, we have the zero-trust model. The motto for this one is super simple. Never trust, always verify. It means we don't assume anyone is safe, even if they're already inside our network. Every single time someone or something tries to access a resource, we check their credentials. Every single time. No exception.
Our third strategy is secure model deployment. Look, you wouldn't just send a priceless artifact through the mail in a plain cardboard box, right? You'd use an armored truck. It's the same idea with your AI model. We need to deploy it inside a secure, isolated environment, a sort of digital armored truck. This makes sure that only the right people and processes can ever access it.
And finally, our 4th pillar, continuous monitoring. The reality is attackers never sleep. They're always looking for new ways to get in, so our defense can't ever take a break either. This means using AI to watch over our systems 24/7. It's like having a security guard who never gets tired, never gets bored, and is constantly learning about the latest threats.
So, to bring it all together, the future of security is all about this dual focus. It all comes back to where we started. On one hand, we must protect our AI systems as if they're priceless assets. And on the other, we have to leverage their intelligence to build the smartest defense possible. This is how we make sure our AI-powered world is also a safe one. And that really just leaves us with one last important question to think about. It's not good enough anymore to just have high walls around your castle. You also need a very smart guard on watch. So I want you to ask yourself, and ask your organization, is your defense both fortified and intelligent?